I am Tanuj, hotelier, an interior designer and entrepreneur. So I'm the owner of 55TG Boutique Suites and also the interior designer of 55TG Boutique Suites. So how 55TG Boutique Suites started is actually my mother got sick. She was down with cancer and I was wondering what's wrong with her, and I decided in my head that she was lonely and she felt useless, and therefore I wanted to give her purpose. So what I started doing, while my sister and my brothers are taking care of her and taking her to the hospitals and doing all of what they could do for her, I started demolishing 55 TGs or our house at that time and remodeling the space. And Amma got so busy that she literally forgot her cancer, and her cancer completely vanished. And as a result of our efforts, me and my mother's, 55TG was born. And then when most of the hotel, then we decided to actually open it out to guests and to make it a hotel. That's how it all started. And of course, before I came to be with Amma, when she was sick, I was living in Kandy. And Kandy, as you all know, is very green and has a lot of trees and has beautiful gardens, and it feels much cooler. It is much cooler than Colombo. So when I came here, I was homesick for Kandy. So therefore, I grew a lot of trees. I grew a lot of plants, trees, and made it look and feel like Kandy. We are actually in the entrance, or the entrance porch and the lounge, the lobby of 55TG. If I talk about the architecture of this property, this was originally built by my grandfather, and over time my father changed it, and starting in the 1990s and then ending in the 2000s, sort of before 2013, I brought back the 1920s, the colonial aspects that my grandfather had done and which my father had changed. So that is the architecture here is more colonial based architecture. As for the interiors, so I was really lucky to have worked and also studied from Mr. Jeffrey Bawa during the time that he was making Kandalama Hotel. And so the contemporary Sri Lankan interiors rubbed off on me in a very big time, and I most happily welcomed it into my life. And here, my style is a mix of contemporary Sri Lankan interiors and luxe Sri Lankan interiors. So in this space, you see a huge collection of antiques, which originally belonged to my father's side and to my mother's side, my grandfather's essentially. So all the furniture, most of them in ebony. The black ones that you see are in ebony. But some of the white ones, which are whitewashed, they're actually made of jack wood. since I'm a fanatic antique collector, I've been collecting antiques and paintings, and I've worked with a lot of painters in most of my projects. And very interesting paintings that you can see in the lobby area of the 55TG Boutique Suites is a collection of Prasanna Veerakkodi's his historical documentation on canvas. One very special moment is the Levalla Aragalaya, which is one of the paintings, and there is another painting of Angampura soldier getting a flower at the Kalaniya temple by a girl who sells flowers. And then there is quite a few other painters like Indika Vijay's Indika, and then there's George Bevan paintings. I've even used antique fabrics to clad the walls, and I've then reproduced wallpaper from the antique fabrics and made it into wallpaper, and that adorns another wall in this section. Yes, it's a splendor of Sri Lankan heritage at 55TG Boutique Suites. So we have 6 bedrooms and a house full of art, sculpture and antiques. As for the rooms at 55TG Boutique Suites, we have 4 deluxe rooms and 2 suites. So I'll start off with the deluxe rooms. So there is a room called the King Room. King Room can be only occupied by 2 persons. It's a black and white environment with a high gloss black 4-poster bed and sort of light grey walls and black and white paintings and a bit of sculpture. there's a very important piece of art inside that room. That was painted by a South American painter from Uruguay called Carlos Paez Villario. I don't know whether you would know, and Mr. Bandaranaike actually wanted Picasso to come to Sri Lanka. And Picasso sent Carlos, and Carlos stayed in that room for 3 months. And eventually when he was leaving, he did a painting on a BOAC tray and gifted it to my mom and dad, and that painting is inside that room. We've got the gallery room, which is shades of sort of dark brown, reds. Used a lot for photography, for bridal photography. It's very popular, but even guests can come and stay, anybody could come and stay, and that can be shared by 4 people. We've got the Poet, which is completely different. It's got poetry on the walls. It's again a white space with pastels, light shades of blues and pinks. It's a very beautiful, charming little room. Queen room, which again has batiks, shades of brown, but lighter shades of brown, with sculpture and all of that. That can be used by 3 persons. As for the suites, we have one suite which is called the Angels, which is completely white with paintings by Mahan Pereira, pastels in pastels. Captured in photographs, again very popular with brides for photography, and also can be used by four people. And as of this room, this is called the Art Suite, the best suite in the property. This has a very valuable collection of paintings, and even as for that wall cladding over there, it's actually a fabric. Which was made by Ina de Silva Vihare for Jeffrey Bawa, actually made for the United Nations building in Mali. Then again, batiks by Ina de Silva Luhare. Behind me are Firi Rahman paintings. And a lot of other paintings too. This is actually the way to the swimming pool. That's about the rooms at the 55 TG Boutique Suites. You're currently at the dining room of the boutique suites, 55 TG Boutique Suites. This is what I call, I'm also an interior designer, and I'm the main interior designer of 55 TG Interiors. And the whole of boutiques 55 TG was designed and curated by myself. And what you're looking at is more or less a luxe Sri Lankan interior. Where I've gone a bit mad, I've used the Disava flags of the different kings and also different ministers historically, way back. I've taken the animals, especially mostly lions and elephants, and then I've used it on a wallpaper. So what you see around us is a wallpaper made by historic detailing. And then there's also an amazing collection of laksa, really big collection of laksa and porcelain, and also a lot of sculpture. And from the time we started 55TG Boutique Suites, somehow we've been lucky. I guess it's because of our service. We have maintained above 9 on booking.com. So we've always, since about 2016, we've maintained, we were like 9.5, then 9.1. So now we are maintaining 9.1 to 9.2 on booking.com. When you go to the back of 55TG Boutique Suites, the garden the whole floor is Borolu, and then I have beautiful pieces of artworks at the back, sculpture actually. There is a Pradeep Manohansa Ganesh statue. Also a beautiful mythical lion, actually an owl and a lion, statue by Lucky Senanai. And then there's also a few other antique horses and other sculpture. And then there's also another space where you go down a flight of stairs, and there's a little lobby which has a sunburst batik by Ina de Silva Vihare, and a few other Lucky Senanayakas and a few other pieces of artworks. And then you go a flight of steps upstairs to our pool area, which is not on the ground floor but on the first floor. And the way that I did the pool is I wanted it to feel like you're on the ground floor even though you're on the first floor. So the whole floor is clad with antique stone. It's an antique stone floor, and around you I've planted a lot of arlia trees, big arlia trees, root ball trees. And as for our swimming pool, we have a swimming pool which is actually a saltwater swimming pool, which is actually very good for your health as opposed to chlorinated water. At the time I was making the pool, there was a lack of tiles, so we were lucky that we created a Sukabhumi tile, but it's a glass tile. The glass tile, and it's a salt water pool, so it's very healthy and it's fantastic to use, especially when it's the soaring heat and the absolute summer of Sri Lanka. I can talk about the place, and the place can be really beautiful, and you can really like it. But somebody ought to look after you when you come here. And on my right is Dilshan. Dilshan is the manager of 55TG Boutique Suites, and he takes care of you from the time you arrive. And on my left is another very important man. He actually takes care of your food. This is Tivanka. So he's the chef, and he takes care of your stomach. So the both of them will take very good care of you when you're at 55TG. So please do visit us, stay with us and enjoy 55TG. You can follow us on 55TG on Instagram or Facebook, or check us out on www.55tg.com.